Get it done. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. I want to be the highest version of myself, the most evolved version, and she has to show up.
But your life allows it.
Yeah. No, I make my life allow
exactly.
it.
Hey y'all, welcome back. So before we go ahead and get into the video, go ahead and hit that like button and that subscribe button. It looks like we're getting into the weight discussion, whether it's healthy to be big and love who you are, being big and eating whatever you want, or maybe changing things about your nutrition, your diet, your all-around health, your all-around gym fitness routine. Which one is better? I'll let Jubilee tell you. On Jubilee, we have fitness people like gym people, and then we have heavier set people who probably don't go to the gym. They're not really as dedicated to their physical fitness as much as the gym goers are. Is being fat a choice? I don't know. Is it? I can tell you, surely I think it's a choice. Let's see what they have to say.
Welcome back to Middle Ground. I'm John. I host the Radical Empathy podcast, and I'll be moderating today's discussion between fit women and fat women. And a friendly reminder, if you are writing a hate comment, you are part of the problem. Our first prompt is, your physique is in your control. Will the agreeers please step forward?
She has a question. I have a question. When you mean physique, can you specify like what exactly are you trying to?
I think physique is like the shape and size of your body. Why were you hesitating?
Because, you know, there's a lot of different illnesses around. So I have family members that have like thyroids and they can't gain weight or they can't lose weight. But I think that they can manage to stay at a place that's gonna be healthy for them. To me, personally, I do feel like I can be at a better place. I'm working on it, and that's my goal. So
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I think that definitely people have ailments, there's different diseases and all that, but I think at the end of the day, what you can do, the best physical peak for your personal body is in your hands. You may not look like someone you want to look like, your ideal situation, but you can optimize your body to be the highest performance that you think that you can get to.
When I first started working out, I lost 60 pounds, and that included just counting calories. I didn't have to work out as hard. I did the treadmill. I went at an incline, and I just walked the whole time, watching a movie and just walked. I just made healthier choices, and I've been mindful about what I put inside my body.
Like, you put in that effort, right? You made those conscious decisions to walk on the treadmill, count your calories. You were super exact with everything, and that's how both of you guys were able to lose so much weight, right? So your physique is 100% in your control. It's just that nobody wants to put the effort in.
Just so we can invite the disagreeers, that's a great point to bring in our disagreeers. Whoever wants to pick up where we just left off.
So while of course there are aspects that I think you can control about your physique, I think there are more things that are out of your control. Like, it is so much more expensive to eat healthy than it is to eat like crap. If I go to the grocery store and I just want to buy a bunch of frozen meals, that's going to be so much cheaper than me going and buying fresh produce and fresh fruit and everything.
I disagree.
I disagree too.
Why do you disagree?
The prepackaged foods, the frozen ones, way more expensive. I've been on a budget, eternally. I always save money by just going to the grocery store and buying ingredients.
I agree with you on that, but I can go get a frozen meal sometimes for $1.50, $2, where if I want to cook a whole meal, like depending on what all the ingredients I'm getting, that could be $10.
So you'll get more.
Yes, but still, you have to think from people who have like no money and they're thinking like, oh, I can get.
I've had no money. I've had $12 for a week's amount of food.
I hear both. I think that you definitely, in the short-term mindset,
You can't always blame it on the fact that you don't have money, because actually, you can ball out on a budget when it comes to grocery shopping. It really just depends on where you get your food and how you are crunching your numbers. But ultimately, some healthier foods are more expensive, but that's prepackaged healthier foods. And I think she's talking about more so packaged foods. So if you if you kind of compare like prepackaged bad food versus prepackaged healthy food, then yes, I would say the prepackaged healthy food, because we don't know if they're healthy truly, but healthy food, then yeah, they're gonna rob you. They're gonna charge you like $10 for something so small that's considered healthy. But if you buy ingredients like the woman in the red said, and you're buying turkey meat, chicken breast, you can buy you can buy enough of that to last you for literally a week or two, and you can just put it in the freezer and freeze it. And then you can go and you can buy broccoli and carrots and different things like that. It's just all depending on if you want to put the time in to actually cook. And what a lot of people don't tell you is they just don't like to cook. That's why they go and eat bad food. It's quick and easy. And it tastes really good sometimes.
Cheaper. You go to a fast food restaurant, they have like a dollar menu. I think they've even increased the dollar menu now. So,
like
which is
$2
crazy.
menu.
It's like a $2 menu. So that's valid, I think, but I think it's killing us in the long term. Like, it's like that short dopamine effect, the dopamine where you're like, oh, I just need something right now.
Yeah.
I think that's the issue.
I also did want to, sorry.
And I'm gonna tell y'all right now, it's way cheaper to buy healthy food, fresh food. It's way cheaper to buy fresh food long term than it is to end up having some type of health issue and then having to pay that insurance money and that money for prescription later on down the line. That's gonna be what's expensive. So if you're worried about saving money, I would think long term and say, well, hey, if I actually get some type of health disease, or chronic disease, then that's gonna cost me a bunch of money. Healthcare ain't cheap.
Just touch on, other than like food costs, like there's also privilege when it comes to like having time to cook stuff.
Definitely,
Like if you work a
100%,
full-time job, if you have kids and stuff, a lot of the time it's just easier. You don't have the time and energy. Like, I enjoy cooking, but it's a lot of work sometimes. And it's much easier for me to just like go through the drive-through. And then also privilege when it comes to like your mental health. When you are depressed, when you're struggling to even like get through the day, it can be really hard to have that motivation to eat well, to move your body and stuff. So for then when people are like, oh, why aren't you working out?
Well, the prompt is about, I think she's kind of going off of the prompt. The prompt is your physique is in your control. She's naming all the things that would stop a person from being able to accomplish these goals because they say they don't have time but I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I've been a personal trainer for over 7 years, and I've heard every excuse in the book. And for every excuse in the book, I've had a solution. And even then, people like that, they would still come up with some excuse. Okay, you don't have time, we'll come in the gym for 30 minutes. Okay, well, in a time where you watching TV, you can go and you can cook. Or in a time of, when your kids are at school, you can prepare dinner. Like, you work a full-time job. Okay, fine. You can come to the gym after your full-time job or before your full-time job. It's not that you can't control your physique. It's more so that do you really want it bad enough to do it? So she's not, she's kind of naming things that would emotionally, mentally stop you from changing your physique, but ultimately you can. It's just if you want to.
I can barely even get out of bed. So please stop with that.
I just wanted to say that I didn't step forward because I have PCOS and I just recently got diagnosed with it. So with PCOS, it's so much more difficult for me to lose the weight and control what I want my physique to look like. It's just so much harder. It's not impossible, but it is.
We can fix it.
It's something
and we
that
can
can
fix
be
it.
fixed.
PCOS, we can fix
Sorry
it.
to cut y'all off, but Brie, I just wanted to hear from you.
The question, your body is in your control, I just think it is not 100% in your control. To say it's like black and white, you can change it or you can't, is just crazy. It's just so nuanced. I really appreciated you bringing up the food access that you have, the knowledge access, your socioeconomic status. I go to the gym, I sit there, and I'm like, if only everyone had access and the free time to do this. I'm sure so many other people would love to do that, but people are struggling. They need to pay their rent. They can't just allot that time. They need to prioritize. And I think that's ultimately what is really sad.
Yeah.
Everyone would love to take care of themselves.
I disagree. I'm sorry, I disagree. There's some of us who are on the fit side that don't have that privileges. I wake up at 4 a.m., have a full-time job. I get it done. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. I want to be the highest version of myself, the most evolved version, and she has to show up.
But your life allows it.
Yeah.
No,
Your
I
life's
make
not-
my life
No,
allow it.
exactly.
I
You
surround
do,
myself
but
with
other
that.
people don't have the possibilities that you
They
have.
do. They just
Not everyone, no.
And I also
No.
think there's
You
something
need
to be
from
said.
Gotta put the effort in. That's it.
Well, I also think too, like let's say for example, you're a teenager and you're like 500 pounds.
Yeah,
The
absolutely.
work that you need to do to remedy that is ungodly. Like that's really challenging. That's a
I
hard
agree.
thing to do for
I
anybody.
agree.
As opposed to like me, I was really skinny and then I decided, oh, I'm gonna go to the gym. I put on my weight. The results are showing. It looks like I'm working super hard. I make these choices like go girl.
Right.
But that is not the same accessibility that someone can make that change for themselves in different circumstances.
I agree.
So I
My
think
only
that is,
caveat is it's hard for both, but it can be done, is my point.
Yeah.
I wouldn't
That's
say
my
that it's
only
as hard
point.
for me as someone who's overweight trying to lose that weight. In my opinion.
But do you believe that it can be done?
I believe it can be done. I believe
Okay,
it can
so
be
we
done, but I
agree.
think
That's the
empathy and
problem.
compassion for the different circumstances that may stop someone from doing that is necessary. To see like, oh, get off your ass and like do all this,
No one said
which you're
that.
not saying, but I'm saying some people, commenters,
Myron's
might be
not in
saying
this
that.
episode.
Myra
That-
was the word.
There is a spectrum for your body. Our height isn't under our control, our fat distribution, our bone density.
I'm definitely saying it. Get off your butt. Because we all, like, nobody's trying to hear the sob stories. We all go through things. There's times where I don't go to the gym and I don't go around blaming time. I don't go around blaming circumstances. I don't go around blaming the fact that I can't afford certain foods or certain meals. There's so many things you can do to be able to work towards something. Nobody's saying you're gonna lose 100 pounds in the day, but success is always making progress, whether it's small progress or large progress. Doing better or more than you did before and hitting a goal that you didn't hit. If you only lost 1 pound, that's success. But you got up and you decided to put that effort in. So I'm definitely saying you can get up. I hold myself accountable. When I don't go to the gym and I'm not feeling good and I'm feeling icky and I'm emotional and I'm hormonal and whatever the case may be, I'm still accountable for that. It's not, this victim mentality is an absolute no. What y'all
Our
think?
muscle density, our metabolism.
Yes,
These are all things that make up who we are. But in that spectrum of health, absolutely, we can change who we are
Yes.
with what we got, right?
And then we'll stop right there and move on to the next one. Body positivity can promote unhealthy habits. Will the agreeers please step forward?
I think blind body positivity can be harmful if it's just like always like don't ever consider any possibility that you could change something or improve your quality of life. Just blindly accept yourself. I think that's where it can get kind of toxic.
I don't look like how I looked when I was 20. So body positivity is encouraging yourself to accept you're gonna transform eventually. When you're 40, when you're 50, you're gonna get wrinkles, all these things. So yeah, definitely body positivity should have taken another route instead of just saying it's for bigger people, because it's not. It's for all the variety of people that need to accept you're changing.
Yeah, I think the pendulum has switched to the furthest extreme. I think body positivity was created because there wasn't a space for people who could have acceptance in bigger bodies. And I think it's just gone to the furthest extreme now. And
Like, women come in all shapes and sizes, right? And every woman is beautiful. And I think that you should really be confident in your body and the way that you look, wake up feeling your best. But I feel like especially on social media and in society today, this body positivity movement, I've seen like multiple times where there's like obese women promoting body positivity. And it's like, I wouldn't want like my
What's
kid.
obese for you?
Yeah.
Like an unhealthy lifestyle.
No,
like
but like, what do you
overweight.
mean
What's obese for you?
Obese, like a
For
medically
me,
obese.
if you see me, you
What's her
consider me
range?
obese?
I wouldn't say that you're obese, but
Okay.
it's like medically,
So, so like for
So
example,
you're medically obese, though.
No,
Yes.
I've been medically obese since I was like 12, and I was not obese.
Well, does anybody here, would anybody here explain what they mean by medically obese? Just-
Exactly.
Like,
Like when you go to the doctor,
They typically calculate obesity with between your height and your weight. And so if you are a lot of the times above that, then you would be considered obese. Some people don't like to be called obese because it triggers them because, to be honest, they don't want to accept that they might be obese and that they need to change that. Like, you don't need to be obese. And half the people that I know that are obese, they don't want to be obese. But they don't want to hear that they're obese either. But you got to hear the things that you don't want to hear to be able to make positive changes in your life. I agree when it comes to, you see obese people promoting body positivity, and you shouldn't be okay with an unhealthy diet. You shouldn't be okay. Even me, you know, I'm smaller, but even me, I'm not okay with an unhealthy diet. I've been looking like, dang, I really need to get it together. I really do. And I try, right? If you fall back, but at least you need to try.
Office and you get weight on a scale and they'll tell you, oh, you're a little bit overweight, or they'll say you're morbidly obese, you're
because of your
whatever
height.
these things. So like,
Yeah.
like if you look at me, you would be like, oh, she's a little plus size, but I am technically considered obese.
So
by my doctors.
And I was obese at, I think it's 30 BMI. Now the BMI, have come to learn that it's a little bit tricky now.
Right. It's not the most accurate.
Right.
But that's what it's based off.
Yeah.
But
Right.
so correct.
Pretty much, yeah.
But now that when I was a size 14, I was considered obese. It's smaller than we think.
I think an obese person, and this is not, calling absolutely anybody obese, but I think a person that can be considered obese would not be able to go on walks. They will lose their breath. For me, because I am a person that I'm big, but like I said, I'm still able to go on hikes and I won't lose my breath. I can go on runs, I can exercise. So if for the doctors I'm obese because of the
Yes.
size and the stuff that
Yes.
I am, for the doctors,
Yes.
for me, it is not the way that it works, because an obese person, I've had friends who are skinnier than me. We go on walks and they're losing their breath.
So for you, obesity
correct.
is just the
fact-
health parameter of how physical you can be. For
Exactly.
you, it's not a physical manifestation
Exactly.
of the body.
When that doctor says that bad word,
You just can't, and this is the thing I don't like about today's culture. You can't just change the definition of something because you don't like it, because you don't want to be identified as. You can't just change the definition of something. There's a definition for obese. If you fall into obesity, you fall into obesity. The health parameters is not the same in general, but if a person is smaller and they lose breath, baby, they need to do more cardio. That means that they really need to work on their heart, their cardiovascular system. They need to train, and they need to do workouts that not only push them to endurance for a long period of time, but also, power movements, strength movements, to be able to get their heart rate up to the pace it should be, because no, they shouldn't be out of breath when they walk. And sometimes I be out of breath when I walk too. But we can't just go around changing the definition of obesity. Absolutely not.
he's looking on a chart versus saying you
But
can't.
how many people have
but he's
been
saying,
bad
But listen,
diagnosed?
he's not saying you're ill and you can't walk up that hill.
I've
you,
had
you
doctors
go,
say that to
you
me.
go, I
That's
have
the
that.
thing. I've
that's,
had doctors
I'm
say that
obese
to
and I
me.
can still walk
So-
up that hill. And that's what's fabulous about it, right? It doesn't automatically mean you're ill, but also down the road, absolutely it's gonna mean you're ill. You're lucky with your genetics currently. Down the road, it's not gonna be the same
But
story.
this is the thing, you think they're genetics, but since I was really young, I'm active. I'm an active woman.
I never said you're not active.
No, I know, but I'm just responding to what you're
Okay.
saying. I know you're not saying that I'm not active. I'm responding to what you're saying about the doctors and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because I have had doctors tell me that.
Tell you what?
That I'm obese and that I
Yes.
cannot exercise, that why am I not exercising, why am I not doing the effort. There's doctors that have bad diagnosed me for things that I've never had. And I've gotten medicated for things that I've never had. So it's like,
Right. Well,
it's everybody, it's different.
They're killing us too. So
Just we went down a tangent
Yeah.
for a minute. I wanna.
Oh my God, you can
we're
say
talking
that.
about we're talking about body positivity, whether
Yes.
we think it promotes unhealthy habits. We're gonna bring in our disagreeer.
Oh my God.
And then continue.
Yeah.
So I didn't step forward because I really hate the toxicity that has come from people being like, oh, body positivity promotes obesity and blah, blah, blah. I hate that so much. I think there is like the minutest people who are doing that. The vast, vast majority, I do not think promote obesity. Body positivity to me is just loving your body, accepting your body how it is, and not hating yourself. Like, you shouldn't have to wake up every day because you're 400 pounds and hate
Zion,
yourself.
go sit.
Like, you know, I don't think anybody should be hating themselves. So
sit.
that, to me, is what body positivity is about. And it's also about equality in how people are treated. Like, for example, Lizzo gets called out so much on, like, oh my God, she's out there with her ass and stuff.
knew she was
Like,
gonna say,
it's so
Lizzo.
disgusting. But Chapel Roan, who, God, I love Chapel Roan, was at Gumball and came out as Statue of Liberty and had her ass out. Did not see a single person online saying, oh, so why she have her ass out? You know, it's like, it's a double standard. People inherently hate fat bodies and don't think they should be seen in
I
society.
actually disagree with that because I do
That's
see
very
people hating on
extreme.
Chapel Rowan for the way that she looks and her outfits, and there's going to be hate on both
Oh,
sides.
of course, there's
That
going to be
is going
hate, but
to
I
be there.
I meant like the volume of hate that Lizzo gets compared to Chapel Roan. Like, I would say, like, it's much smaller. Like, I just you constantly hear about, like, Lizzo, and, you know.
I have a question. I have a question
Yeah.
about Lizzo. Okay,
Always
one of
comes
the
back to Lizzo.
one of the few, okay.
She's like weight too.
I know.
She's lost a lot of weight right now.
One of the few times I saw her streaming, she had this gorgeous cake was gifted to her. Enormous. Went in with it with a fork and was eating constantly and talking to the camera while she was streaming. The volume of the cake that she ate, I just went, oh my God, how many people are watching this? This is absolutely, it was a horrible representation. I hated every moment of it. What do you say about that?
Well, my question would be, if there was a thin person doing that, would you have had that same reaction?
Yes.
Okay, then I think it's more about, like, she's not promoting obesity by eating cake on camera.
It's just not healthy.
She's just, you know, eating cake
But
on
if
camera.
she's the representation of body positivity and she's behaving this way, is that promoting
Have
a
you
negative
noticed
light?
that she just posted a video that she lost weight? Like,
No,
that
no,
was-
absolutely don't. I
She just
absolutely
posted
not.
a video
I
and she
absolutely
lost
did not.
weight. You can see the
Because
difference.
I don't want her in my algorithm.
So it was just probably that one day that you saw her doing that, but that doesn't identify her as a whole person.
Yeah, in defense of Lizzo, not a sentence I want to repeat. In defense of her, I have seen her post like, oh, here's a green smoothie that I got, or here's me with my salad, or like, here I am at the gym. I think there is this weird stigma where people that are overweight have to be perfect all the time. They can never just like, you know, just have a cake. And I agree, it's challenging. I agree, it's not great. Listen, I'm not saying that's great.
That was
Not
too
great.
much.
But I'm saying that like this one instance of her doing this amidst all her other ones of her trying to be healthy.
Can I go on the opposite side of that? Like with Lizzo, there's like Eugenia Clooney. She's a very
Yes,
petite, tiny
Eugenia.
woman. Why are people saying, "Oh, good job, Lizzo"? Like, good job for eating healthier. But like when Eugenia Clooney's like trying to eat something, like
But is Eugenia Cooney allowed to have hashtag body positivity?
she does sometimes. So
Is she?
she promotes herself literally wearing like tiny
Because we're-
outfits, showing her body.
That was my whole point. Is like these extremes are hijacking it.
Yeah,
I agree.
think,
They're not
like,
good representation.
Yeah,
No.
that like the algorithm, they will push out the most extreme.
Body positivity should be about just not only being positive about where you are, and just being positive is just basically being thankful and content with where you are, does not mean that you do not have to work towards better goals. I'm very content with my life and where I am now, but I'm still going to work towards different goals because that's just what I want to do. I want to progress in life. I want to do better than I did the day before. And body positivity should have been where you are thankful where you are and you're grateful where you are, so that you don't have to do something extreme like surgery or, you know, harm yourself or be in a depression because of how you look, but to say, hey, this is who I am today, but tomorrow I'm going to try something different and I'll be different tomorrow. That doesn't mean you're going to lose weight tomorrow or change drastically tomorrow. It just means that you're constantly making progress towards your health, towards your body. That means anything that you put in your body, you need to make sure that it's nutritious for your body, that it's benefiting your body, because we like to forget that in our body there are real organs. Like real organs, real cells, real muscles, real vessels that need nutrition to function properly. Because when one thing goes wrong in your body and your organ system, a lot of other things have to compensate for what's not supplying what it needs to function properly. And so that's how you get people with certain chronic diseases and certain chronic illnesses, because their body wasn't taken care of over time. And don't get me wrong, some people, there are cases where, you know, they might have been born with something or different things like that. But why be forced because of your bad habits to treat your body better when you can just treat your body better before you get to that point and never have to get to that point? So people always ask, how do this person live so long? How do they look so good? Their skin is so nice. How are they so energized? And 9 times out of 10, it's probably because of what they put in their body. If they're not like 5 years old or if they're not like a baby, it's mainly because of what they put in their bodies. So as y'all know, let's see what the Lord has to say about this. No temptation has overtaken you that is not common to man. God is faithful, and he will not let you be tempted beyond your ability. But with temptation, he will also provide the way of escape, that you may be able to endure it. So the reason why I brought up this one, guys, and this is very important, because you're always going to be tempted to eat bad. You're always going to be tempted to get drunk. You're always going to be tempted to just not take care of yourself, not have any self-discipline, not pay attention to the small things that contribute every single day, every second of the day to your physical health, not just to your physical health, but your emotional health as well. And a lot of what you eat and consume, when you eat certain foods, you consuming different hormones. Like, the body is more delicate than a machine, but it is also resilient too as well, that no matter how much bad we do to it, it usually takes a very long time for our body to be like, all right, you clearly not handling me the way you're supposed to. At this point, I can't do this anymore. Our body is very resilient, but at the same time, we have to pay very close attention to our body. We have to take care of our bodies like our bodies are our babies, because it is the reason why we function. It is the reason why we live. And God wants us to be healthy. He wants us to take care of our bodies. He wants us to have self-discipline. This is our temple. It is sacred, and we must treat it as such. We must treat it as such in all areas of our lives. But I'm not going to keep y'all too long. That's pretty much all I wanted to say. But what do you guys think? Okay? What do you guys think? Do you think that it's okay to be big? Do you think that there are issues where people feel like they can't get the type of health that they need? Or do you think it's all excuses? Go ahead, put in the comments. Healthy debate. Be nice. Be kind. And I will see you guys in my next video. All right, stay blessed.